All right, welcome back to another episode of Fogdog and Basten. Another very, very exciting episode coming at you today from Drake University. I can't wait for this one. We're going to be speaking to our good friend, famous running track and field fan, Derek Rubis. He's become a bit of a household name, really, I would say, in the NCAA. And I can't wait to hear from him and kind of hear a bit about his story, I guess, with running and how he became involved in it. What about you, Basten?
Yeah, I really am excited to hear from him. So many people have so many different perspectives on running, and his is definitely one that's worth valuing because he knows so much about the sport and he's studied it for such a long time. I'm excited to hear about his life, how he became famous, and what makes him the way he is.
Yeah, I agree. I'm definitely really looking forward to this one. I think, as you were saying, Basten, it will be interesting to kind of hear a different perspective on kind of running and track and field and how he got involved in the sport. For anyone who might not have heard of him, he's a huge running fan. He works really hard himself. He's got a few races coming up, I think. And yeah, it's always just a good move to kind of get a few different perspectives on running, I guess, and hear a few different stories. So really looking forward to this one. Hopefully you are too. Whatever platform you're listening on, well, it's either YouTube or Spotify. One day we'll get to the other platforms. But yeah, looking forward to it. Here we go. We're speaking with the man, the myth, the legend, Derek Rubis.
Let's welcome on the guy with the best hair on the internet. We are here with guest Derek Rubis. First of all, we got to hear your intro. What are you doing right now? What's going on in your life?
Nothing much, just training. I had 13 miler this morning and training for, I've got a couple of races in February up at NAU.
Nice. Very nice. So, yeah, talking about your training, what are these races you've got kind of coming up, and what did I think you had a midweek long run this morning. What did that kind of look like? How many miles are you running a week at the moment? And you mentioned briefly just before off camera that the weather is pretty nice for training right now where you are in Arizona. So talk us through that.
It's about 60 degrees here, which is nice. Just training for there's a meet on the 4th and 5th of February up in NAU, and then one on the 18th that I'm going to register for. So, yeah.
Lovely.
Cool. I think a lot of our listeners don't really follow the races that much. So what's your favorite distance? What are you most confident in? And what are your kind of goal times coming up?
I love 3 and 5K indoors. I know the tactics better in the 3K, but I love the 5K better.
Oh.
And then outdoors, I'm a big steeple and 10K guy.
Very nice. So these meets at NAU, we've never been to NAU. I don't know if Basten, you might have been to Arizona.
I've been
Arizona. Yeah. Pretty good facilities, are they?
Yeah, it's the NAU Dome. It's where they also do basketball games and they have their football there. So yeah.
Nice.
Is this sorry, is it a 200 flat track, 200 bank?
It's 300.
300.
Oh, it is? Oh, wow. I didn't know that. That's pretty nice, I guess.
Yeah, and you can really, my first race there, I could really feel the altitude with like 3 laps left to go. And that was like, I'm going to push it. And then it's like, nope, I can't push it.
Yeah. So for people who might not know you quite as much or might not know exactly where you are in the States, you're in, I think, Santan Valley. Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you live at altitude, or is that lower down and then you have to drive up?
We're about 45 minutes, an hour away from Phoenix.
Okay, nice. So you train low and then you go up to Flagstaff for the races. No, that's cool. That's very exciting stuff. So to take it back a bit, I guess, you're obviously a pretty well-known name in the NCAA. Are you foam rolling right now?
What? No.
Oh, right. Thought you might have been.
Just laying down.
Nice. Just getting comfy. I thought you might have been doing a bit of rolling, got to get that recovery in. But so now you're a pretty well-known name in the NCAA. When did you kind of first get into running? What's your background with the sport and why running?
I started in sixth grade because we had in sixth grade, we had the sixth grade run in where I'm from is Waukesha, Wisconsin. And then I went to the doctors and they said, don't do contact sports because they had one, this is going to sound gross, one testicle removed. And that's why they said I couldn't do contact sports. And I found out later in high school that cross country is a contact sport.
Yeah, it definitely can be.
Yes.
And then I helped when I was going to go to University of Stevens Point, but I didn't get in, and it's a blessing and a curse in a way, because the fact that they at that time had a cap of how many guys they could have on the team, which is 24 guys, and they could have as many women as they wanted. So I coached for 4 years while I was still racing at a rival high school, and when I was in college, and then I raced and coached for 10 to 11 years at a D3 college called Carroll University in Waukesha.
In Wisconsin. Nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
Very nice.
So in college, did you run for 4 years?
But we have a 10 semester rule.
Oh,
and I only do track for 2 semesters and cross for 1 semester. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. And you were saying you kind of got into the coaching side of things. Yeah. How did that all kind of come about? And like, while you were coaching, were you saying they let you race as well? Did you have to race unattached?
Yeah. When I was coaching at Carroll University, the head coach was volunteer assistant coach when I was in high school. So
right. Nice.
So I'm rowing for over 25 years.
Yeah.
That was easy for me. And then I was able to race cross and track and with this group called Greater Milwaukee Track Club. And how we made our money to get to meets is we worked the concession stands at the Brewer games. So we get 10% of whatever we make, and then we get 15% on holidays. So nice. we loved Cubs games because it paid for three of our meets.
Yeah.
Wow. That's an awesome story. And I don't know how much you know this, but you've really become a household name for really the entire NCAA. And so really.
And 13 different countries.
Yeah. Wow. Mr. Worldwide.
And so me and Fog, and I'm sure everybody else are wondering, because our coach said himself that back when he was in college, you were a household name then. So we're wondering, when did this happen for you? How did this happen for you? Was it a long process? And just like, tell us about that.
I just, when Facebook first came out, I started following it more, and started following different guys and whatnot. And I met both through Facebook and then whatnot. So
yeah. And on a potentially like slightly more deeper level, I guess, you mentioned to me about like mental health, and obviously with running, it's such a it's a sport where it can be great for your mental health, and it's a sport where it can be terrible for your mental health. I guess kind of depending on, time of year, how your training's going, what races you've got coming up, just everything. There's so many factors involved. So, for us, I think it might be interesting to hear a little bit about your story kind of with your mental health. I know you mentioned to me that you have kind of in the past and maybe in the present had a few kind of ups and downs with it. Does running kind of help with your mental health? Is it kind of something where you can go out and run?
It's a double-edged sword, because it all started with in 2012. Guys were before 2012. People were asking if I was going to go to the Olympic trials, and I said I was probably not, because I didn't have the money to go and whatnot, and they paid for me to go and whatnot. And
Wow.
I met, at that time, I was a big Alberto Salazar fan. And I met the guy, and he just looked at me and said, "You're not a distance runner. You don't look like a distance runner. You need to lose weight." And that's where it all started. I didn't know it started spiraling until like 2018, when I was starting to go every day on a scale, and if I was 130 or above, I would stop eating or not eat at all, and then if I was in the 120s, I'd eat everything in sight, and then it turned into I'm eating too much. I might be going back to the 130s. So mine's more the body weight instead of the anorexia and bulimia. I also have a little bit of depression, thoughts of suicide, and self-esteem issues as well.
Yeah, that's pretty like, I guess, hard to hear probably for a lot of people out there. I mean, a lot of people are probably going through similar sort of stuff. And I think running is, in general, a great sport where, you know, you've got so many people who are on your side, they're with you, and they really genuinely care about you. So it's great to, you know, have you on here and be able to kind of have these conversations.
I wanted to get it out, because you only hear it from the women's standpoint. You don't hear it from the men.
No,
So
definitely. And
the more times I can get it out, the more times they're going to say, okay, it's a human issue, not just a women's issue.
And it's interesting as well with the Salazar thing. I mean, we've all heard about, you know, what he's been involved with and everything like that. So, I mean, honestly, when you mentioned Salazar, I kind of thought it was cool that you got to meet him, but obviously it didn't quite work out in the way you might have hoped.
I think that's a very valuable point, just everything you guys have been discussing. And there's probably some people that are young listening to this podcast that are dealing with the same stuff that you did. So if you could just give any piece of advice to anyone going through any of this sort of stuff, what would you say?
Just work on yourself, and don't care what anybody else has to say about things. If it is online or other sports or whatnot, just do you.
Yeah, no, and I think you're a pretty good example of that. You know, you've got a whole range of different tattoos. You're rocking the bandana right now. What's to kind of lighten it up a little bit on a slightly different note, what is your, you know, favorite tattoo? I know you've got a few. You've got Wes Fly, I believe.
Yeah.
You'll have to get a Fogdog as well. You'll have to get a Drake Bulldog at some point. Speaking of Drake, I love the shirt you've got on right now.
Yeah, seriously.
The Drake shirt. Yep. Oh yeah. What?
I just got a new tattoo on Sunday.
I saw it. Yeah, the Craig Engels, the Yeet.
Yeah, can we
finger.
Go to the camera quick? There it is. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Did Craig see that? Has he?
Yeah. He's seen it. He loves it and everything.
Nice.
Awesome.
Very nice. That's good to hear. Speaking of those kind of people, you know, obviously, as Basten said, you are kind of a bit of a like household name in the NCAA and even in professional running. You know, you mentioned Derek Rubis, and people, almost everyone's heard of you. And if they haven't, they should have done. Who have you met in the running world? And like, obviously you've probably met a lot of people, but who have you kind of run with? And of those people, who's kind of been, you know, your standout claim to fame, I guess you could say?
I don't know if you remember his Instagram post, but not last year, but 2019, Nick Willis was up in Flagstaff training, and he came up and watched me race. So that was like the greatest thing ever, because I have sort of a connection with him, because my sister-in-law is from New Zealand.
Okay, nice.
Her sister's husband was Nick Willis's gym teacher.
Oh, wow.
Small world. Small world.
Yeah. So like a 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon type thing.
Yeah, that's cool. That's really cool.
So you've met Nick Willis. Who's on your bucket list still of these famous athletes that you really want to meet?
You
and
got to say us.
When he was at Tulsa, me and another friend went to the cross country national championships, and the whole time I was talking about Chris O'Hare, and I'm like, I'm gonna meet him. He had bad race and didn't want to see anybody, so that's the one guy that I was always dying to meet is Chris O'Hare. Yeah,
as well as Adam Fogg and Isaac Baston, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
of course, you gotta mention us in that.
He's still been my number one. I've met my distance running idol, Gary Stein.
Oh, you've stumped me with that.
I don't even know who that is.
Neither do I.
His son used to run for CU Pueblo College, Thomas Stein, and Gary Stein was a professional distance runner for the UK.
All right. Oh, cool. Well, I have got roots in the UK. I probably should have heard of him, but now that Chris O'Hare is retired, maybe you could hit him up for a run or something. I think he is still based. He's based in Oklahoma, isn't he? He still lives in Tulsa, I think. So you'll have to get over for a run with him. As well, just quickly. So you said you're from Wisconsin. How did you end up in Arizona? What's kind of a little bit more of your story if people don't know?
My parents moved about like 8 weeks before I did, because in 2018 I wanted to stay around because the D1 nationals were in Madison.
Yeah.
And the D3s were also in Oshkosh, which is a couple hours away. But I'm like, I'd rather go to the D1s over that. Yeah. So I stayed at one of my parents' friends' place in their basement for 8 weeks. I didn't have to pay rent or anything like that.
Yeah.
Our only agreement was when she was down in Chicago, because her daughter lives down there, that I had to take care of the dog. That was it. And I was supposed to move out to Oregon, Eugene.
Right. Wow.
Yeah. Because I thought I had a job at that time, with Nick Simmons' company.
Run Gum?
Yeah. And me and my dad drove from Wisconsin to Eugene, which was kind of cool trip. And then we get there, and then that Monday they're like, nope, we don't have a job for you. So it was either go back to Wisconsin or go and come down here. And I'm like, I felt like I was a failure in Eugene, and I just left Wisconsin and left and whatnot. So I'm like, I'm just going to come down here. And I'm in the middle of nowhere.
You enjoy it down there, though. It looks like, the weather is good. Do you have people you run with? Like, is it a pretty good area for running, or do you have to kind of solo grind?
We're like in the middle of nowhere, so I've not run with a lot of people. Tomorrow I get to run. I'm running with a few people, like Willie Fink and Casey Combs.
Wow. Oh, they were actually. Yeah.
We raced them not too long ago, so that's
That's cool.
there in Scottsdale, and then I gotten to run with Ari.
Cloud. Yeah.
Yeah, I got to run with him. I've gotten to run with some professionals up in Flagstaff.
Yeah.
In fact, I was doing an 800 track workout, and my last rep, Ellie Puri and Colleen Quigley are like, we're gonna jump in and be your rabbits for the last one.
Oh,
Nice.
And I got my fastest time. I went from like 250 down to 240.
wow.
It's crazy.
That is nice.
It's crazy what rabbits can do for you.
Yeah.
We have a special game prepared for you today.
Okay.
So I know it's early in the season, but you are the running super fan and you have the most knowledge in the sport out of anyone. So we want to know who your top 3 finishers at nationals are, your predictions.
Ooh.
For the mile, the 3K, and the 5K.
The 3 and the 5, if he's running it, it's going to be Mario Romo.
3 and the 5.
Is he doing the 3 and the 5, or
I mean, we don't know.
We don't know either.
That's your job.
Yeah.
To know.
He's. I can't see him not running the mile. Don't you think he'll be in the mile?
You might want to avoid Yard though. I
Or
don't know.
might want to avoid us.
Yeah.
Well, I fought in my top 3 for the mile.
Oh,
Look at that.
yeah, nice. I'll take that. If I finish top 3, I'll be a happy man. I'll have to fend this guy off though. Honestly, Rubis, we had a workout yesterday, and I held it together through the first few reps, and then the last couple, man, this guy, he's a quick guy.
So 3K is probably Romo's going to probably win, and I think it's the year of Ole Miss milers with their 9 that are going to be out there. So yeah.
Nice.
So I think it might be you're going to have to fend off the Ole Miss milers.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
Well, we knew that.
Yeah. They're going to be hard to beat. In the 5K, what do you think about Kip 2? What do you rate his chances of going back to back indoor 5K?
Depending on if he doesn't get injured, I think he'll have a good chance.
Yeah, we're actually racing him this weekend.
Yep.
But I mean, by the time this podcast comes out, we'll have raced him.
Yep. It's going to be me, Adam, Wesley, or it's
Sorry.
going to be me, Adam, Wesley, Kip 2, and Festus Legat. So,
Yeah.
Oh, I love Festus.
so that should be a great showdown
Huge
this
Festus
weekend.
What's that?
I'm a huge Festus Legat fan.
Yeah, he's gone pro now. But I guess he must still be based at Iowa State, like still training there. I mean, they've got good facilities, good groups to train with. So.
With that kid,
Yeah, I've actually I tried to get in the meet on Iowa State's track for the Iowa State Classic, but they're like, no way. But then I did a workout on there.
Oh, you did?
Cool.
Yeah. I did work on there and then came back to Carroll, and it's like, well, our track is really small.
What?
Because our track at Carroll is 150 meters, and we have 3 lanes, and the lane that's closest to the bleachers is 150, and the other 2 are less than that.
Was it not banked then? I assume just like a.
No.
Was it in the shape of a track? Like, was it an oval?
Yeah. Ours is a 150 track. Yeah.
Yeah, because we have kind of a similar sort of thing. We've got a 220 meter square. So it literally is a square. It's got 1 lane. You just follow the 1 line, and its bends are pretty sharp. It's got
sharp.
4 of them.
Yeah.
So four sharp bends makes a square essentially. But
It makes repeat.
And for ours, you have to. Ours is 2 to 4. If the sprinters and distances want to use the track, then same day. 2 to 4 would have to be the distances, and then 4 to 6 would have to be the sprinters.
Yeah.
So we
Wow.
weren't into each other.
Yeah. So just quickly, you mentioned you're probably going to do a few races at Flagstaff in the coming kind of few weeks. What's after that for you? Like what's kind of your main goal for 2022? What do you want to aim for this year?
There's one race down at University of Arizona that I'm going to do, and then hopefully I can get into a couple meets at Grand Canyon University. Last year I couldn't get in them because either my seat time was too slow, or they said they had too many people.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah.
We were wondering if do you have any questions for us?
No, not that.
Yeah.
No, none.
No.
Kind of an open
Yeah.
book, so.
Yeah. No, definitely. But just on like a different note. So obviously we've talked a bit about like your story and your running and everything like that. What do you think if you could kind of change one thing about the sport? I know this is kind of a pretty regular topic on podcasts. What would you want to change? What would you do?
There's a couple of things that the super shoes are one of them.
You like them or hate them?
I dislike them big time.
Have you got them or you refuse?
I had the Tin Man version once.
Is that
I don't know.
Adios Pros?
Are they the Boston or?
Yeah, but the Boston 10.
The Bostons,
Yeah.
Yeah, I got those and the spikes.
Yeah.
I just think it's too much talk about the super shoes and not about people's performance and whatnot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's fair enough.
And then all the different subscription sites that you have to do, get away from the paywalls. If you want more people out there wanting to watch the races that have never watched them, don't do a pay.
Yeah, I know.
I completely agree with that one. It's sometimes ridiculous.
It is tricky though. Like I do completely agree, but like what is I know I could get like knocked down for saying this, but like what is the alternative to like Flow Track? Because I do completely agree. I think it's silly that you have to pay to watch like a local high school meet or like a college meet. You have to put in your credit card details and pay. But if they're not doing it, I know Trackstar, Alfie from England, they're always saying like it's silly, but what is the alternative? Because like they're not streaming stuff. New Gen aren't streaming stuff. It's like
Trials and Miles were streaming stuff.
Yeah, and I love that. Actually, that's a good point. Yeah. But it's like what, 6 races a year? It's like if they could get out to every meet, but how are they then going to make money? I guess you can have donations, but then
advertisements as well.
Yeah,
maybe. But
yeah.
Well, Sound Running this past season did the $5.99, and then all the money went to
Prize money or
prize money.
Yeah. No, I think you have made a couple of good points there. Actually, there are a couple of people, like a couple of brands, I guess, like Sound Running and Charles and Miles doing it. But I feel like for a proper long-term solution, like it would be good if there was someone or a brand streaming every meet using adverts. People watch YouTube videos and the creator like makes revenue through adverts. It's super simple, but I don't know how it would work with streaming. Slightly different.
And the other thing I hope happens is not just to focus on D1, but there's some good racers in D2 and D3, put them on the map as well.
100%. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So branching off of watching running in general, whether it's on FlowTrack or whatever websites you're using, what do you like to do in your spare time? Like, what are your hobbies? Yeah. I'm
a huge football fan, or as we call it here, soccer.
Oh, nice.
I'm a huge Tottenham fan.
Cool.
But and I love watching old TV shows and old movies, and there's a place a movie theater we have where every Tuesday night for $5 they show old movies.
Wow.
Cool.
Oh, that's cool.
So I've seen stuff like Poltergeist and When Harry Met Sally and all these old ones. Yeah.
Cool.
Very nice.
So who are your sports teams? I'm sure everyone's curious.
Yeah.
My biggest one is Tottenham. I'm a huge Tottenham fan.
They got a huge win today, right?
Yeah, they
Just
did.
now.
Yeah. How
Cool.
do you know that?
I saw a post about it.
Really? The one time you see an English football post, it comes in perfect. I was like, what? Yeah, 3-2 in injury time.
My friend Thomas Stein, we kid him a lot because he looks a lot like Harry Kane.
Really? Does he talk like him as well?
Tall like him. Yeah, he looks like him.
Yeah.
So I call him for his nickname Harry Kane, and he calls me Gareth Bale.
Yeah. Bale. Did Bale end up coming back to Tottenham?
I don't think he did.
No. Yeah. Wow. True. I mean,
lost me.
Yeah. You had your good fact though. You had your good fact about the win. I was impressed. Yeah. Oh, good stuff. And so are you able to watch the matches then from England? Obviously, they'd probably be kind of in the middle of the night, mostly Friday nights, Saturday nights.
Peacock or USA Network.
Cool. Yeah, very nice. Have you ever been over to England? Is that like a lifetime goal? Go and watch a Tottenham match. To London.
My bucket list for England is London, Manchester, Birmingham, Newcastle, and Tottenham.
Yeah,
that'd be sweet.
Birmingham's not too far from where I was born, so I'll see you over there one day, Rubis.
Yeah,
you got a place to stay.
Yeah. About half an hour.
I'm known in 13 different countries, so it's like I got places to stay all over the.
Yeah, that is pretty cool. Anyway, I think we've pretty much covered most of what we planned on talking about in this podcast. If there's anything you want to say, if there's anything you've got to say to, maybe the younger generation who are coming through, any inspirational words of wisdom, now's your moment. But yeah, go for it.
This is a tough one for me because there's a lot of phrases I used to say to my runners while they're running. It ain't no walk in the park, or the one that I live by, a couple I live by, phrases I live by is one is from Gabe Grunwald.
Oh yeah.
If you go past the edge and you go past the limit and over the edge and you're laying on the ground on the track, you've done a good workout. And then my phrase I live by that I made up is the harder the workout, the better I feel.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. So afterwards.
So people look at me like, you like the Michigan workout? Are you nuts? I'm like, that's my favorite workout of all times.
Is the Michigan mile tempo, 1200 mile tempo, 800 mile tempo, 400?
It's 1600, 2K off the track, tempo off the track, 1200 on the track, 2K tempo off the track, 800 on the track, 2K tempo off the track, and 400 all up.
Wow. Yeah.
I learned it from Willis and I love it to death.
Wow.
Yeah.
How often do you do that one?
As much as I can, or if it's in my workout plans from my different coaches that I have each week.
Yeah.
Wow.
Nice. What kind of is your just quickly, I know we kind of said we talked about everything, but I remember probably a year ago you asked me to coach you for a week. So you mentioned it just now. Are you pretty much every week you're coached by a different person? Is that kind of the goal you've got with it?
Yeah. And I've got a few coaches that I have in mind that are like my 2022 goals.
Yeah.
To have, like your coach is one of them.
Nice.
Cool.
Jay.
Yeah. Both of the BYU coaches, the Oregon coach, Wisconsin coach, the Ole Miss coach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. And speaking of Oregon, do you plan on trying to get out this year to go and watch the trials or meet some people?
I probably can't, but I would love to because I get to meet all my different countries.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I'm a huge Gregerson fan, so it's like, oh, dang it. Yeah.
Brian Gregson? Yeah.
Brian and his wife, yeah.
Yeah, Jen.
Yeah, I almost went to their wedding.
Really?
Yeah, they wanted me there, and I just said it was too much money to get over there.
Australia is tough. It's so far away from everything. Like, I mean, it's a great place, but very hard to get to. Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah. Melbourne's on my bucket list to go see.
Yeah. Go and train with Stewie.
And Gregerson.
Yeah, yeah. No, good stuff. Cool.
Cool. I think
good. Yeah. Brilliant. I think, we really have covered pretty much everything that we had kind of to cover. Thanks very much for coming on here and taking the time to have a chat with us. I'm sure everyone out there will have enjoyed kind of hearing your perspective on all things running, life. Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, man. We appreciate you.
Yeah. Good luck this weekend.
Thank you, Rubis. Good luck with your training. We'll speak to you soon.
Yeah. Bye.
Thanks for listening, everyone.